You might have heard about the World Health Organization Pandemic Treaty. Now, the idea is basically that all member states in the UN will sign up to a plan whereby if there were another pandemic, the World Health Organization would have provenance over the worldwide response to that. In essence, all nations would respond in the same way. But along with that comes a number of rules about you cannot hoard certain things, you can't keep PPE for yourself, you can't keep certain medications for yourself. You have to make it available to other nations. You also have to make it available to the World Health Organization for free if they want to come and take it. It raises obvious questions about why would you want this global body to have control over you as a sovereign nation? It opens up questions about, well, if there was a decision to go into lockdown again, does the World Health Organization then tell all the member states that they must do that? We all respond in unison, thus taking away our ability to make our decisions on behalf of ourselves. Well, yesterday, a group of 14 senators sent off a letter to the federal government saying we need to walk away from our plans to join up. We should not sign this and we should not sign it into law. Liberal Senator from South Australia, Alex Antic, said today the Prime Minister received a letter co-signed by a group of 14 cross-party federal parliamentarians requesting the government walk away from the amendments to the international health regulations and the WHO pandemic treaty. A meeting of the World Health Assembly will commence on the 27th of May, just in a week or two's time, to vote on these instruments, which, if passed, will transform the WHO from an advisory body to a supranational health body. Now, the UK in the last few hours has said that it will not be signing on to the treaty in its current form because it is worried, as we all should be, that it would take away their ability to operate as a sovereign nation. And can you blame them? Because when you look at the response of other countries apart from us during COVID, let's say Sweden, for instance, where they did what no one else did, didn't go with the lockdowns, didn't go with the mandates, took a completely different tack. And the results they had were identical, if not better in most cases, to every other nation in the world. They did something completely different and it worked. But if the WHO is able to tell you what to do, you don't have that ability to make that decision.
One of the reasons why Sweden did that, and nobody talks about this enough, is because they literally didn't have the power to. The government in Sweden has never given themselves the power to enforce mandates of injections on people, to lock down people's businesses, etc., and so on. Power to them. No government should have that much power over millions of free citizens. But you're quite right, they're now laughing all the way to the bank. Even with the UK making this bolshy move, and I must say I'm incredibly impressed, I cannot see Albanese doing this. I cannot see him pulling out. He has been in lockstep with everything the UN has done, and it bears mentioning for anyone who's unaware, the WHO, the World Health Organization, is the UN's health arm, so it's one and the same body essentially. He simply hasn't broken rank with them, even when it comes to Israel-Palestine matters, as we saw most painfully over the weekend. And when you look at this government's track record, whether it comes to digital ID, which is set to sail through any day now in our parliament, if you look at the voice referendum, if you look at immigration, their policies on immigration and what they have and haven't done around that, public opinion doesn't mean anything anymore. If this went to a vote, would the Australian people want us to sign up to this World Health Organization treaty? Absolutely not. But the Albanese government has proved time and time again, public opinion counts for jack. They have an agenda to roll out and they are going to roll it out come what may.
Your point is well made. If this went to a vote, there's no way Australians would support handing over our sovereignty to some unelected, unrepresentative group based in, Geneva? So we should have a position where we want to cooperate, obviously, globally. If there's a worldwide pandemic, then we would want to cooperate but not give up our autonomy. But if we were of a mind to give up our autonomy and say, we're going to give someone else the authority to tell us what to do in the event of a health emergency, the WHO would be the last organisation.
Their track record.
I mean, we only have to look back, 24, 48 months ago to see they stuffed up COVID something shocking. It was the WHO who said COVID is not transmitted human to human, so it will be okay. That decision alone probably cost hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of lives. They have proved they should never be trusted with authority. Sure, give advice, but we shouldn't be beholden to you. And as you said, when do we get a vote on these things? When do we decide who's in charge rather than have our politicians just sell us out?
Well, the World Health Organization were the biggest bunch of flip-floppers during COVID you've ever seen. They started out by buying into what China had told them, just unquestioningly.
Yeah.
And as you said, they
get a lot of money from China.
They just declared that, there was no evidence of transmission from humans, even though at that time, China was well aware of what was going on in their own country and they were taking precautions.
Well, the WHO spent more time trying to rename COVID so it had no connection at all with China and Wuhan than they did actually trying to keep people.
Oh yeah, it was all about racism.
And then the World Health Organization said in the early stages of COVID that it did not recommend mask use because it thought mask use would lead to complacency. Then, of course, it changed its mind on that and decided that everyone should be wearing masks. They made it up on the hop. And we want these people in charge of our response. I thought the one lesson we learnt from COVID, if nothing else, was that sovereignty is sacrosanct because we realised very quickly when we were removed from the rest of the world exactly how reliant we had to be on ourselves and the position we found ourselves in because we ran out of things. We didn't have stuff. We went, oh, hang on a minute, we better sort that out. And now we're going straight back to old ways. Yeah, let's centralise it.